So we've made it to Richmond after having shared tracks with the district line for a bit. We now separate out and get our own platforms, which is very much a kind of reminiscent of Altrincham, as is the station style itself, as Dad pointed out. So we've decided that Richmond is the Altrincham of London. Here you've got the end of the district line, the Overground, and you also have South West Railway services. So it's quite a large station actually. Train to Kingston. That number does seem right. It's confusing. Anyway, I'm here at Richmond because my brother doesn't like walking around. We left our little manor house day out thing early, and now we have way too much time before we go to Euston. So I've decided that I'm going to do some spontaneous train spotting at Richmond to use up half an hour. Enjoy. London Overground service to Stratford. Three 78229. A capital star. Meanwhile, a district line service is waiting to enter the station. Comes another London Overground service, terminating here from Stratford, 378-230. Meanwhile, that district line train leaves. Not the one that pulled in just now, but the one that was already here. The capital star is of course a kind of urban hybrid, a relation of both the mainline Electrostar trains found on Southern and the S-Stock trains found on the London Underground, all of which are produced by Bombardier, or Bombardier, however you pronounce it, I don't know. Another district line train is arriving, annoyingly obscured from view by the Overground. Perhaps I should move over to that side of the station, because there's not much going on this side. Southwest Railway services are surprisingly infrequent, although that might just be because they're on strike over Easter. Also, it's interesting to see that on this particular information screen has attached has assigned official timings for District Line trains, which I've never seen anywhere else. Are these official timetables, or are they just assigned by Southwestern Railways for whatever reason? Either way, very strange. There's a Southwest Railway train now, but there was nothing set to leave, so maybe it just waits here. Oh, where did that Overground train come from? Well, I mean, it came from Stratford, but I didn't notice that it arrived. London Overground service to Stratford. Three 78 230. These are the Class 455s on Southwestern Railway, due to be dropped by the new franchise and replaced with the Venturers at some point. So right now there seem to be services to Barnes in this direction and Kilburn in that, and Kingston in that direction, each every half an hour, which I suspect is not the usual arrangement, because I'm sure there are direct trains to London Waterloo, but it just must be a strike day timetable. Anyway, the annoying thing is we've only seen 3 Southwestern Railway trains this whole time, but one of them's just left. It's been obscured by this one. Anyway, this is a pair of Class 455s for this service to Barnes. And this service to Kingston has left in the other direction. You can't see it from here, which is kind of annoying. Richmond has not been one of my most exciting episodes yet. Right, well, I'm going to hop on this Overground train back to Willesden Junction, but you'll know all about that if you've seen the main London vlog. This was just a fun extra train spotting episode. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.
David, it doesn't know that.
Well, it will know that because we'll tap out at Euston, won't we?
Never, ever.
We, not frequently, but we sometimes took it from Willesden.
Nope. Willesden Junction. You can't actually see the West Coast Main Line from here, which is a shame. I was hoping it would give us something to spot while we wait, but it's all behind that embankment stuff. This is a very, very insanely complicated railway junction. I can hear a passing Virgin train in the distance, but I can't see it, which is annoying. We just want the next Overground service into Euston. Despite the fact that this was a very complicated junction, it was nevertheless a very easy change, which is good because we have suitcases. Interestingly, the Bakerloo line trains here have also been assigned with actual times, which is very strange.
Okay, 1833.
Pendolino. (390.047) arrives with a service from somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't say where. I'm at London Euston and I have just under half an hour. We actually had ages here because we planned our day poorly and ended up arriving ridiculously early. So I've got about half an hour to do some train spotting here at London Euston, which I almost did in May and then didn't. Click Sergeant. It's the name of the train. London Euston is of course the London base for the West Coast Main Line, the hub of Virgin Trains West Coast with services to Manchester, Liverpool, Chester, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Birmingham, so on and so forth. Crewe is the main one in terms of, you know, railways. And it's also home to London NorthWestern and Watford DC line services. And so the time wasting continues. We are now in London Euston, where our train is leaving in about 45 minutes. So we have just under half an hour to do some train spotting. 390.156 with a service to somewhere. I should probably get real-time trains out. And then I can actually tell you where it's going. I believe that was the 1914 to Wolverhampton. We are very lucky today because the Caledonian Sleeper Rake is arriving into platform 1. Being dragged in by, I can't see the number, but it's a 92. And that train will depart in about an hour's time for all of Scotland. It kind of explodes at Edinburgh and shards of it go to all sorts of other places. Meanwhile, here's London Overground service to Watford Junction. (378.218). So yes, Caledonian Sleeper divides. I'm not sure, are there two of them? Because there's a Highland and a Lowland. But as far as London Euston is concerned, is it two different trains? I never figured that out. But this is the one, this is the Highland one, which goes to Fort William, Inverness and Aberdeen. But then I think there's another one. I have no idea, honestly. I ought to look that up. So the 92 is stuck on the other end, and I suspect another locomotive, well obviously another locomotive is going to come and pick up the front. Whether or not we'll see that, I don't know. 350-260 off London NorthWestern, fresh in from Birmingham New Street. (350-242) at the back. Meanwhile, another train to Birmingham New Street, also London NorthWestern, 35261 is leaving. (35115) in the middle. And 35117 at the back, forming a 12-car train. It's longer than most Virgin train, longer than all the Virgin trains actually. Although it loses the rear 8 coaches at Northampton, so only the front 4 go on to Birmingham. There's a large array of sitting trains here, but quite like with the Paris stations, the frequency of things moving in and out is actually not that great. So you would have to spend a long amount of time here to make it worthwhile train spotting. We arrived ridiculously early, but not ridiculously early enough to actually produce a decent sized episode, which is kind of annoying. I don't think I am ever going to manage to do a decent sized episode in London without coming here for the purpose of train spotting, which we're not going to do anytime soon. But anyway, I've been seeing an awful lot of Pendolinos with their cover plates missing the red kind of swirl. They look really, it makes them look really terrible, and I don't know why. It seems to be an epidemic that's spreading across the fleet. I noticed the new livery has it painted all yellow, so maybe they've just done the cover plate and then they'll re-livery the rest of the train later, which is bizarre. London Overground Capital Star 378210 from Watford Junction arrives. Although, quite like the Liverpool street services, I find the use of the Overground branding for this line to be a little bit deceptive and misleading. So the Overground network keeps growing, so eventually we're going to get to a point where it's too big and the branding needs to be split up. And I think this is one of the lines that will, as a result of that, lose their Overground branding and should instead become Watford DC, or maybe something more creative. A Virgin train service interestingly terminating at Carlisle departs. I suspect engineering work is at play. 390-134, I think. Virgin train service to Manchester Piccadilly, not mine but the one before it, 390-148. Doing some interesting callings, including Tamworth, Lichfield, Trent Valley and Stafford. Flying Scousman, oh we saw that one arrive. It's a good name, that. Flying Scousman. 390-148 for Manchester Piccadilly via Crewe. One day I will do a big proper London Euston episode, but today is not that day because I'm leaving this episode now so that I can go back, grab some food and be nice and early for my train, which is the next service to Manchester. Thank you for watching. And please subscribe. It's funny, I realised this is actually my train. But I need to go over to the other side to get my bag and get some food first.